Our next guest has unique insights on the concept of tribalism and how it impacts U.S. politics, the C-suite, college campuses everywhere, as we saw with the unrest at colleges and universities earlier this year. Joining us right now is cultural psychologist Michael Morris, Columbia University professor. He's got a new book out this week. It's called Tribal: How the Cultural Instincts That Divide Us Can Help Bring Us Together. And Michael, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. I've watched your show for years. It's a real honor.
Well,
You're the one.
We are thrilled to have you here. But you have to explain to me, tribalism, I look at it as a pretty divisive situation in the United States these days. How do you actually see it as a superpower?
Well, I think tribalism means, the psychology that enables us to live in large communities with shared assumptions. And that's what got us out of the Stone Age, right? It's what underlies everything that works. An organization like this or, the city of Manhattan, it works because we have, a shared culture. But that doesn't mean that it never goes awry. And we see it going awry quite a bit in the current moment. I would like to say that it was prescience, but I think I'm lucky to have a book on tribalism coming out in the fall of 2024 when we're teetering on the edge of a war in the Middle East, and we have a really divided government, and we have the largest labor union threatening to shut down the supply chain. So there's a lot of collective action in ways that are not entirely positive right now.
So this is tribalism gone awry.
Yeah.
And that's where we're looking for things that differentiate us instead of
Yeah.
things commonalities?
Well, one of the main reasons I wrote this book is because I think that tribalism has come into currency as a term and as a catch-all explanation over the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. And the way it's often defined and talked about is that somehow we're wired to hate outsiders. We're wired to hate the other, another group. And I think that's just not a picture that any evolutionary scientist or behavioral scientist would recognize. We have these social instincts that are called tribal instincts, but they're instincts for solidarity, not instincts for hostility. They occasionally lead to conflicts where hostilities develop, but the conflicts don't start from hostility.
So what went wrong? What went awry?
I think it's a different story in every case, So what went awry in our politics is a kind of tribalism, but it's not a tribalism of hate. It didn't start with Democrats hating Republicans. It started from living in different worlds, holding different beliefs, and then being baffled at the other side, and then starting to doubt the other side's sincerity. And how did we come to live in different worlds? Well, the splintering of the media had something to do with it. We used to all get our news from Walter Cronkite, and we were kind of all on the same page. But when you have partisan news channels that serve different constituencies, we are living in bubble chambers, and we're getting further and further apart in our assumptions.
I mean, I thought it was. I'm ready to start looking at, where you're doing an autopsy. I'm starting to think we need to look at brains. I think there's a left brain, right brain. There's things that I see in things I believe. I look at what other people believe, and that's like Venus and Mars. Not men, but one person's from Venus, the other's from Mars. I mean, left brain, right brain. I can't even figure where some of the thinking comes from at this point.
What do we need, exchange student programs?
Maybe it is that people live in an echo chamber. It gets drilled in for so long, they don't even visit the other echo chamber.
That's right. And I think if we understand that these echo chambers contribute to it, then there are things we can do personally. We can break out of our bubble. We can change the channel on our television and get exposed to a different stream of news. I think that one of the big mistakes is to think that these cultural worldviews are sort of permanent and we're stuck with them. But they're really not. I mean, we all have internalized multiple cultures, and we switch between them. We call it code switching when, it's about, ethnic or racial cultures. But we all do that. When you come into work, it's a different self. It's a different worldview than when you go home or when you go to church or when you go to the gym. And so, if we understand the levers that cause people to switch from one cultural identity to the next, then we can lead people through their culture, and we can.
I'm not kidding about an exchange program student. I mean, all of us spending more time with each other and trying to understand each other. But describe specifically what you think has gone wrong on college campuses, because you're a professor at Columbia,
yes, I am.
and this has been something that we have watched
Columbia.
so closely
at Columbia.
with
at
bafflement.
Columbia. You've actually talked to the president. I think you've tried to.
I have
tried to help.
So at Columbia, a lot of us, are there because we take pride in a tradition of political engagement. It's been a relatively political campus. And that has gotten ugly at certain points in the past, the Vietnam War, but it's also had some great results, like it helped fuel the anti-apartheid movement. Columbia was one of the first campuses, and it spread, and it's one of the reasons that Mandela got released, this campus protest across the world. So a lot of us were kind of proud at first, but then it clearly metastasized in a direction that was not healthy and that was not a teachable moment that nobody was learning from. It was sort of activism that just became acrimony, and the groups started as expressions of solidarity for different groups of civilians in the Middle East, and a few months later the groups thought each other were the problem. They were attacking each other. And so why at Columbia did it go this way, whereas there are other universities? My wife went to Rutgers, and at Rutgers things ended very constructively. The president, Jonathan Holloway, he welcomed the activists. He said, universities learn from activism. This is the energy that helps us update our policies and make ourselves better.
I went to Rutgers too, and
okay.
It wasn't a smooth transition along that entire point. I saw video of protesters where Holloway was there and then left, and the Jewish students who were there were kind of left with a group of angry protesters. He was taken out with police guards.
Okay.
So it's not been smooth everywhere. It hasn't been Columbia there for sure.
Right.
But
Michael, I think
the campuses that have been worse are like UCLA and Columbia in the middle of really large cities, where the student activists are ringed by professional activists, and they start to see their mission as aligned with these more seasoned activists. Both sides, I think, at Columbia became co-opted by more extreme groups.